This is our hands-on demonstrations for the pre-K through 12 age group for the Global Food Security and Plant Biosecurity Symposium. What the Symposium's objectives was basically training the next generation of agricultural scientists to ensure that our nation has a healthy and abundant food supply and for protection of our forests and natural resources. Mainly what we've been focusing on is exotic plant pathogens and insect pests that are, threaten our cropping systems or our forest ecosystems. And we had a wide range of speakers from various federal agencies such as the U.S. Forest Service, USDA APHIS, Animal Plant Health Inspection Service, and the Agricultural Research Service, and other visiting universities, Florida A&M University, Penn State, and Alabama A&M University. It's extremely important that we start early in introducing our young people to science. As we have stated earlier, and many reports have said that we're at a critical shortage of scientists and professionals to take positions in plant health management. And so what we need to do is strengthen our nation's science pipeline. And it's important that we do these types of outreach programs to the middle school age group, high school age group, and even pre-K 12 students. What you've heard today, many of the speakers told stories, emotional stories about how they had mentors, be it in high school or college or grad school, that helped them get to the positions, that there are, as scientists in labs, department heads, and so on. And everyone, started at the first grade, learning the basics, to read, to write, and, those are the basic things in science as well, so that we can, have a supply of scientists to handle these problems.
What would you like the kids to know?
That they can be involved in science, because science, and whether it's in pathology, entomology, or agricultural sciences, there's a need for this kind of work, and one that they can look back and say that I have done something very good.
A number of young minds were exposed to the possibilities and the prospects of science, and also that these young minds were advised as to what it really takes in order to become a scientist. That it's not necessarily that simple, but it's not necessarily that hard either. It's a matter of having an interest, and it's a matter of being willing to really work at it.
What we have here is a tree radar unit. This is one of the instruments that we have at Southern University to make sure that we can analyze trees in a non-invasive way. We particularly would like to try to stay non-destructive as possible, because we want to preserve our trees and our natural environment. So it's just as if you were going to a physician and he would ask for x-rays or something of that sort. So with this machine, we typically do the same type of thing. We look at the internal portions of the tree. We look subsurface of the soil to understand tree growth or the root formation or something of that sort. So I'm going to give a demonstration, and I'm going to let our good friends here from Second Chance Academy to show you how this instrument is used. First, we start off with calibration. We make sure that our data is set to get the information that we would like. Typically, we use about a 18-inch depth energy source to make sure that our antenna is reaching the depth that we would like it to reach. So we start off by setting our machine to examine the roots. As we do this, we will have our young lady, Miss Williams, to start, and she will push the antenna forward to find roots that's subsurface. And while we're doing that, we have another young lady that will step up and tell her when she identified a root. As she go forward, go ahead. As she go forward, there will be peaks upon the screen that will indicate the presence of a root. And at that point, she would be told to stop.
Stop.
All right. Now at this point, she will bag back, and
Stop.
now she's told stop. Just below this point right here, we know that there's a root about 4 inches down. And this is how we begin to map roots. We would normally do this in a radial pattern to make sure that we cover all the roots of the tree. And we will also set the markers and tell them at what depth that we have. So once we complete this, we will understand that the formation of the root pattern, and then we can go in and put this information back into our computer, have it analyzed, and create graphics from this particular instrument so we can better understand how our roots are growing and where they are. Thank you.
Right here I have a slideshow showing the anatomy of 12 tree species, and it's showing the inside. This is southern magnolia, and we use all this equipment in here to do the anatomy. And the holes, you see the circles? These are the vessels. That's how the water come up from the roots up the trunk of the tree to the branches and to the leaves. Okay, and these trees, they're grown here in the urban forestries, in your yards, you know, in campuses around the city and all of that, and they're good trees to have. They don't present you with a lot of problems. They're not acceptable to a lot of diseases so far. And right here we have the insect Magnolia ectra. This is a new midge fly that's infecting the live oak trees here in Louisiana. It was first found in Texas, in the Houston and Dallas area. So now it's been moving eastward. It's in Baton Rouge in Louisiana for sure. And this insect, it forms galls that are shaped with spines, like they call them rosette galls. These are the rosette galls that are formed infecting the live oak tree here in Louisiana. And like I said, the flies, they grow inside of these galls. You know, each rosette could carry up to 8 or more flies inside of it. All right, on this microscope, we have this fungus, Bipolaris, and these are the spores. You've heard of the spores, and the little lines that connect, those are the myceliums and hypha together.
On this particular slide, this is one of our compound microscopes, digital, and it just projects it on the monitor there. And what you're looking at is conidia of Bipolaris sugricana. This is a pathogen of grass, different types of grasses. The Bipolaris matus, or Helminthsporium matus, an older name of that particular fungus. When Dr. Warren was talking this morning, that was one of the fungal species that caused the fungus that caused the southern corn leaf blight epidemic in 1970. But this is a similar fungus in that group. And so these are conidia. And I'll show you some more of what these fungi look in culture. But this is how we can project and look at that. We have plant pathogens that I would say favor, some favor wet, cool environments, some favor wet, warm environments. So you have pathogens that can attack plants across a wide climatic spectrum and geographical spectrum. But let's just take the Gulf Coast region, for example, Louisiana, Alabama, Florida, those states that are in this region. We tend to get a lot of diseases here, mainly because of the climate. We have pretty mild winters, high humidity and rainfall, and it can favor certain types of diseases in the insects. So that comes with the territory. But we do constantly, vigilantly, doing research to come out with resistant crop varieties, research to deal with how we can manage these diseases. And so that's why it's important, for these young people to come and learn about these things, to address these complex issues. It's interaction between, for as plant pathology is concerned, with how diseases develop with the host, the pathogen, and the environment. And also there can be some human-mediated things as well that can cause or deal with that disease.
So this technology that I'm going to show you and let y'all try to play with is called a Z-nose. Now, just from the name, what do you think it does? It sniffs. It sniffs. And you see these pheromones are, they're a class of compounds that are usually, if you want to get all technical, as terpenes and things. You can smell it. All right? And the Z-nose basically can recognize that volatile. It has a fancy long chemical name that nobody in the world can probably pronounce but a select few. And it can identify. And we can use this instrument to say, okay, this lure has this compound in it. It's supposed to. It is good to be used. We can put it out in the field. It's not going to contradict. It's going to do its job. So that's where we come in at our laboratory, okay?
This is called a Gypsy moth trap, and what happens is that the moth will fly in the little corner, and we've got what is a little pheromone lure, it's called. It's a sex attractant for the moth, and it will go in there instead of staying in the environment. These lures are so strong and everything, they would rather go to the lure instead of the regular trees out in your environment. This is called a fruit fly trapping. And this is for Mexican fruit flies, and it's for Mediterranean fruit flies, which affects all the nice fruits and vegetables that we have. The larvae bore into the fruit and destroy the fruit. So it's better to find them first before they get out into the environment and get on their own. This is a Japanese beetle trap. Same thing, it's got a little lure in there, and he goes down the side and gets caught in there. This is another kind of trap that we use, pink bollworm, that's for cotton. This is another little fruit fly, different way of trapping for fruit flies. This is called the Jackson trap. And it's got a little lure in there.
I have my canine partner, who is Coda, which you're going to meet just in a minute. And what he does, he detects odors of narcotics as well as concealed humans. And when I say concealed humans, I mean people that he can't see. Ooh, yeah, yeah. And I've got to tell him he's done a good job. So I got to make some really loud noises. Thank you, Coda.
And we'd just like to thank all of the young people who came out to participate in the hands-on demonstration. We thank everyone for coming out. So let's give ourselves a hand of applause. One thing we want people to know is the importance of agricultural research, and specifically plant protection type research. Plant pathology, what deals with the study of plant diseases and how they're caused and how we can prevent them. Entomology, dealing with insect pests and very similar about management and mitigation of those, to let them know the importance of these particular topics.